Hello. Hi, y'all. That's my cat, Natalia. She come in and out during class. Welcome. Hi, I'm Susan. Uh, this is Comeback Yoga, all levels yoga class. Today we'll be practicing together for about 40 minutes, and we'll take some time for a rest at the end. Let's get started. I want to start standing up today. You can spread out your space, move yourself around. All levels means just that, right? You can do anything you want. I'm here for you. We're here for each other, practicing together. So starting, I have my mat turned. You can turn your mat to whatever you like. Is start out with, let's walk your feet out, spread out your toes, put your hands together, and sink. Pull your thumbs toward your sternum, move weight into your heels, move your hips back. Pause, breathe. Turn your attention, your focus to your breath, your inhales, and your exhales. Notice your heart beating, and stretch yourself. Bring yourself into, I call this star pose. Just stretching out your arms and your legs. Stretch out your fingers. Roll through your wrists. Let's turn a little bit. Turn your toes to one side. Put your hands on your hips. Lift your hips a little and tilt. Stretching your sides, stretching your hips. Notice what you're stretching. Inhale to lift. Turn your toes forward. Hands together. Let's sink again. We're starting out a little bit slow, giving ourselves time for transition. Move weight into your heels. Move your hips back. Sit. Stand up. Turn your toes. Hands on your hips. Tilt and lean. Try turning your gaze different directions, up or down toward your toes. Inhale to lift. One more time. Turn your toes forward, hands together, sink. Weight moves into your heels, move your hips back. Like you're sitting on a horse or you're coming into a squat. Like you're weightlifting, you're going to pick up something heavy. You pull up a little bit on your arches, spread out your toes, spread out your feet. Notice your heart beating and your breath breathing. Stand up, do the star pose, and arms down. Let's step together at the top of your mat. You can turn your mat if it was turned. You can just turn your body. Hands together in front of you. Shift weight over onto your right foot and step your left foot back. And back again, and back again. Bend into your front knee. Take your arms up, reach overhead. Exhale, bring your arms out wide and tilt forward. Your arms can reach back behind you. Inhale to lift, bring your arms overhead. Arms out wide, arms behind you, we're tilting forward. Warming up your legs, moving your body, moving with your breath, inhaling to lift, arms out wide, and hinge forward. Step together at the top of your mat. Bring your arms forward, out in front of you. Wrap your left arm underneath your right and sink. We're doing the sink action, moving weight into your heels, moving your hips back, sitting down. Stand up. Unwrap your arms. I'm going to walk over to this other side. You can stay where you are, facing whatever direction you're facing. Shifting weight onto your left foot, stepping your right foot back. And back again, and back again. Maybe giving yourself a little wider stance this time. Your legs are a little more warmed up. We're squaring towards the front edge of your mat. Take your arms overhead. Reach up. Sweep your arms out to T. Hinge forward. Sweep your arms back behind you. Inhale to reach up. So it's warrior one pose. Sweeping your arms out and tilting your torso forward. We're getting our blood moving. Get your body moving. Stretching your muscles. Reach up, arms out, hinge forward. It's our third time. I like to do things in threes. I have a teacher who says, why threes? Just because it's nice. Inhale to lift. Nice job. Wrap your arms around each other. Unwrap your arms and step together. Top of your mat. Reach up and sink. Sink into, this is chair pose, squat. Move weight into your heels. A lot of us do all sorts of things, weightlifting. You know what a squat feels like in your body if you do weightlifting. But if you don't, you're moving weight into your heels, your shins move back, your hips move back, and your spine stays long, really long. You bring your hands together out in front of you. Pushing your left hand into your right hand gives you a little more stability. Well, just notice what you feel like when you do that. Breathe and stand up. Take your arms wide, out to T, and tilt. Left arm down and your right arm comes up and over. Inhale to lift up, take your right arm forward, take your left leg back. We're opening to the side into warrior two. Your front knee's bent and your back leg is long. Turn your front palm up and reverse your warrior. Your left arm's down along your side, your right arm stretches, focusing on the space between your right hip and your right shoulder. Your arm's just extra. You put your hand on your head or behind your head, point your elbow up. Straighten your legs and tilt into the triangle pose. Triangle's a long line from your hips through the crown of your head. And if you bend your knees just a little, you can lift your arches a little. You can find more engagement in your lower body and give yourself more foundation to keep your torso in good alignment. Bend your knees a little more, lift your torso, gather together, step together at the top of your mat. You can take as many steps as you want to. Inhale to lift up, exhale, sit in chair pose. Think about your toes pointing forward, your feet parallel to each other, lifting your arches, moving your hips back, sitting down. Like you're trying to sit in a chair that's a little bit too far back. You're not quite sure where it is. You're trying to find it with your sit bones and you're sinking and still trying to find it. Where is that chair? Use your strength, your inhale to stand up. Shifting weight onto your left foot, your right foot steps back. We're opening to the side a little. Cut across the horizon with your arms. Extend out through your fingertips. You can put all your fingers together, thumbs included. Your front knee bends. Well, what if you tilt your torso forward and back a little? Exploration in poses is one of the things I really like about yoga, is giving yourself a little different perspective. Sometimes you can turn a little bit in warrior two. Notice what happens with your back heel. Notice what happens with your front leg. We're doing reverse warrior. Flip your front palm up. Your back arm comes along your leg and your front arm curls overhead. What are you focusing on in your body? So foundation, your arches pull up a little, your front knee bends, your back leg's long. Length from your left hip to your left shoulder. Your arm's extra, your hand can be on your head. Your elbow can be pointing instead of your arm long. We're lengthening and tilting into the triangle pose. Your hips tilt. Tilt. Your front arm comes down on the inside of your front leg. Your top arm can reach up. You could have your hand on your head. I like this version with your arms extended. Big long arms, long spine, your head's in line, and your legs are long too. Maybe you could lift up your toes and wiggle your toes a little. Put your toes down and lift. Let's face direction of the top of your mat. You can rotate on your back heel and step together. Take as many steps as you want to. Step, step. Inhale to reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, arms back behind you. We're sinking into chair pose again. This time your arms are back behind you. Reach your fingers down like you could hold on one of those machines at the gym. We hold on and push down the levers. Push down, sink down. Move your weight into your heels, move your hips back. This is a challenge posture for me. Chair pose, sitting back, squat position. Squats are great exercise. Pull up into your belly and stand up. You're facing to the top of your mat. Reach your arms overhead, interlace your fingers and release your pointer fingers, cross your thumbs. Point straight up to the ceiling. And you can look up. Like you're an exclamation point, pointing up to the ceiling, pressing down into your heels, lengthening. Pull your belly in a little. Slightly tuck your chin as you lift your eyes. Thunderbolt pose. And let go of your hands. Grip, release your arms down by your sides. Let's come down to the floor, press your hands into the floor, and step back to plank. Sometimes people like to jump back to plank. You can do that if you like. Why not? Step back. Okay, so plank is a strength pose. You're pulling up into your belly, move your thighs towards each other. You can energize your legs. That helps keep your spine long. And it's a balance pose. It's an arm balance. You're balancing on your arms. Keep your head in line too with your spine. There's a tendency to drop your head. Keep your head in line. Gives you more oomph. Press back through your heels gently. And spread your fingers wide if you're on your straight arms. If you're on your elbows, maybe like that plank variation, you can give yourself a little bit more oomph in your sides and your shoulders. Put your knees down. Let's move through cat and cow pose. You're lifting and lowering your stomach and moving through your spine. Cat and cow, very versatile yoga pose. You can move through your shoulders. You can move through your spine. You can move through your hips. Works a lot of different parts of your body. Okay, right knee on the floor, left foot steps forward. Now we're in low lunge. Take your arms overhead, reach up. Exhale, your torso comes forward and your arms reach back behind you. In the same thing that we were doing standing, only now we're kneeling, you might go a little deeper into your forward fold. Your torso comes on the inside of your front legs. Your arms might reach more up towards the ceiling. Big inhales as you lift. Big exhale as you lower. I think that was 3 times. Inhale to reach. Exhale, put your hands together and rotate your upper body towards your front knee, towards your bent knee, your front bent knee. Face forward. Put your hands on the floor. Lift your back knee, step forward. I'll give you the option. You can step forward and lift your back leg any amount, or you can stay here with your back foot on the floor, bending and straightening. Now, if you've stepped forward, this pose is called standing splits. You can change it around. You can let your torso hang down towards the floor. Your head comes close toward your front shin. Close is relative, y'all. Your back leg can bend. Both knees can bend. If your back foot's on the floor, you might bend and straighten your front leg. Give yourself time to figure out which way you want to do it. Oh, and then we're going right back into plank pose. Step back in a plank position. Your hands are on the floor. What if you want to do a different plank this time? Hooray for you. Yeah, do a different plank. Why not? You can come onto your forearms. You can be on your knees. You can be on one knee. All the things that you did before, your head in line, squeezing your glutes a little, pull up and in at your belly. Breathe and keep your sense of humor. And plank. Your knees come to the floor. Lift yourself up. I hope you're still breathing nicely. Step your right foot forward. We're in kneeling position. Take your arms overhead, warrior one, and tilt. Your torso comes on the inside of your front leg, your arms sweep back. When we were standing, doing these positions, these two positions, perhaps you were doing a little differently. Maybe you wanted more support, maybe you wanted more challenge. Whatever it is that you're working with, give yourself a little more. Oh, I think this might be 4. Great job. Put your hands together, center yourself, and turn. Turn towards your front knee. You're using strength of your torso, strength of your core, strength of your foundation. If you want a little more oomph, you can tuck your back toes under. It gives you a little more connection to the floor. Face forward, your hands come down to the floor. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee. What if you step forward onto your front foot? You do not have to do the same thing that you did on one side as the other side. But if you want to try, the standing splits your front leg is your foundation leg. Both knees can be as bent as you like. Monitor your breath, your energy level, how you feel. Maybe you decide you want to put your foot down, or maybe you want to try to lift your leg higher. Either way, both feet down. We're stepping back to one more plank. Hips in line. Oh, what if you walk your feet a little wider on your mat? That can be an interesting variation of plank. You're still moving your thighs towards each other, engaging your inner thighs, engaging your length of your spine, your head's in line. Move into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back a little, walk your feet towards each other a little. Bend your knees, lengthen your spine. Your head comes in line with your arms. Take one soft inhale and exhale here. Then we'll make a little noise on our exhale. I say we. I can't hear you, of course, but you can make a little noise. You can make any kind of noise you want to with your exhale. Big soft inhale. I'm just going to do a sigh. You can step or hop your feet toward your hands. I like to walk. Bend your knees, roll yourself up to standing. Once you get used to standing, put your hands back together. We're sinking in a chair again. Move weight into your heels. Move your shins back. Sit back. Let's take one arm overhead. Notice tendencies in your body as you do that. You bend your elbow out to the side. Notice how that changes it. Bring your hand back. Take your other arm overhead. Sit back. Bring your elbow out to the side. Notice how that changes it. Hands together. Let's take both arms overhead. Or you could do one at a time again. Elbows out to the sides. And hands back together. Stand up. You're at the top of your mat. Inhale to reach up. Let's side stretch. One arm down, other arm up and over. Inhale to lift, hands together. Let's find the tree pose. Your left foot is your foundation foot, and your right foot comes to the inside of your ankle with your toes on the floor, or inside of your lower leg with your foot floating, or inside of your thigh. I'm feeling a little wobbly. You can put your foot there and put your hands together. Tendency will be to sink into your hip. Keep your hips level. Good job. Step onto your right foot and bring your left leg into the floating part of the tree pose. Toes can be on the floor, foot can be on the inside of your lower leg, or your foot can be on the inside of your thigh. My pants are super slippery today. I might just hold my foot. And then try to lengthen up and straighten up. And both feet down. Once you bring both feet down, put your hands together and notice the difference, how it feels in your body, how your heart rate changes, how your respiration changes, if it does, when you stand on one foot as when you stand on 2 feet. It's an opportunity to observe. You're at the top of your mat, facing towards the top of your mat. Shift weight onto your left foot. Glide your right toes back. Roll your heel down and hinge into the pyramid pose. Your hinge is at your hips. Your pelvis tilts. Your hips lift. The fronts of your thighs move back. Your spine goes long. I have my hands together in front of my chest. Bend into your front knee. Lift your torso and step together. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, arms wide. Hands on the tops of your legs and sit back. A really supported chair pose this time. You're sitting back with your elbows on the tops of your legs, and you're folding over a little bit to get your elbows on the tops of your legs. See if you can sink a little deeper, move your shins back with the support of your elbows on the tops of your legs. Stand. Reach overhead. Let's side stretch. Left arm down, right arm up and over. Inhale to lift. Shift. Touch your toes back. Roll your heel down and hinge. You're in pyramid pose. Your back of your hips lift. The fronts of your thighs move back. Your knees stay a little bit bent. You're tilting. The back of your neck stays long. Bend your knees to lift. And step together. Top of the mat, inhale. Interlace your fingers, glide your hands over the top of your head to the back of your head. Press your head into your hands, elbows wide, lift and lean. This is a supported standing back bend. You're lengthening. You can squeeze your glutes just a little, lift more than you lean. Try leaning a little. You can bring your gaze where the wall and the ceiling meet. Notice the effect of a standing back bend on your body. Breathe. And bring your head back to neutral. Release your grip of your arms. Your arms come down. Roll your shoulders up and back and down. Wrap your left arm underneath your right. You can take a couple of measured steps back towards the middle of your mat and just feel it with your feet. Maybe turn to the side of your mat once again, shifting weight onto your right foot, cross your left leg over your right leg. You've got several options here. Hold your shoulders, backs of your hands together, wrap your arms around each other. Several options with your legs. Touch your toes, float your leg, wrap your leg. The wrap can be tricky to do wrapping and find your balance at the same time. Then the last bit is to bend your knees so you can wrap a little tighter with your legs. It can be a little wobbly. The cool thing here is you could lean against the wall, sit more, focus on your flexibility and your wrap, and take the balance part out even just for a moment. Unwrap your arms, unwrap your left leg, give yourself a big stand up, reach overhead, and sink. Chair pose. Sit back. Try to go a little deeper than the first time you practice this pose today. Move weight into your heels. Move your shins back. Move your your weight. Feel your weight drop into your footprints. And pressing your hands together gives you a little more oomph in your upper body. Slightly tucking your chin gives you a little more gravity to lengthen crown of your head down back through your tailbone. Stand up. Other side, eagle pose, right arm wraps around. Shift, cross, sink. Hands might be different. Legs might be different. Breathe. Unwrap your arms. Unwrap your right leg. Stand on 2 feet. Feel the difference. Standing on 1 foot, standing on 2 feet. It's an obvious difference. Notice what happens in your body, your heartbeat, your breath, tempo, and pace. Stepping your left foot forward, your right foot back. Give yourself a little bit wider stance. Your feet come out to the long edges of your mat. Your back heel lifts. Take both hands overhead. Your right arm comes forward. Your upper body turns. And your left arm comes back. Your back heel comes up to give you a little more latitude. You can move a little. And then if you want to give your hips a little squaring, once you're able to turn, you can ease yourself, stretch yourself out in the posture. Take your left arm down and around and overhead. This is our second opportunity. Those of you who didn't try standing splits last time, you can try again if you want. Or you could bring your hands to your front leg, tilt. This is still standing splits. It's not as deep a variation, but still there. You could bring your hands down to the floor. You could lift your back leg in the air any amount. Want to really challenge yourself, at least it challenges me, you can put your hands on the back of your calf and balance. Oh yeah, it's challenging for me. Hands back down on the floor or on your front leg. Your right foot comes down, lift your torso. Step together at the top of your mat. Inhale to reach up, side stretch. Right arm down, left arm up and over. Hands slide down the fronts of your legs. Put your hands on the floor. Step or hop back to plank. Give yourself an upward facing dog. You can bring your knees to the floor and lean your hips forward. Keep toning your belly as you point your chest forward. Pull yourself back into downward facing dog. When you do your downward facing dog, there's another opportunity to do an exhalation that makes a little noise. That's choice. Big soft inhale and exhale. Step or hop your feet to your hands, bend your knees, roll yourself up. Hands together, shift weight onto your right foot. Step your left foot back. This time your back heel is up. Take your hands, square your shoulders forward. Because your back heel is up, you can bend your knee a little as you turn towards the right. Take your left arm forward and your right arm back. And then you can ease into squaring your hips more. Stretch yourself out in the pose. It's a balanced posture and rotation, flexibility, and strength. Back arm comes down, reaches overhead. Your hands can come to your front leg. Here's your second opportunity for the standing splits. Hands to your front leg, hands down to the floor. You can lift your back leg into the air. It's optional. If you want to challenge yourself. You can put your hand, one hand or both hands to the back of your standing calf. You can bend your floating leg as much or as little as you want to. Floating leg comes back down to the floor. Hands to your front leg, lift your torso. Step together, top of your mat, inhale to reach up. Let's find a side stretch. Left arm down, right arm up and over. Stand up, hands together. Here is our last chair pose. This is your best chair pose. Move weight into your heels, sit back. Can you find a little bit different place in your chair pose? It's different this time. You know it's the last one. You don't have to reserve any strength for it. You can just put everything you've got into this last chair pose. We're going to sit down after this. So give yourself a little more support, a little more strength, a little more exhale. Breathe and breathe into your chair pose. You've got this. And then fold up your chair. Fold it up. Straighten your legs. You're in forward fold. Come down onto your knees in the middle of your mat. And sit back, hips on your heels. This is a really deep angle for my knees. I sit like this a lot. Maybe you would prefer to kneel also. Same thing. Just coming in the center, put your hands together, whether your hips are on your heels or your hips are above your knees, either way. Lower yourself down onto your belly. Glide your hands back on either side of your chest. Lift one leg, lengthen it, put it down. Lift your other leg, lengthen it, put it down. Your hands get a little heavier next to your chest. Your legs get longer. Your glutes squeeze a little, so your rib cage can float a little. Like you're transferring, pouring weight into your lower body so your upper body can lift. And lower down, take your arms out in front of you, press down into your palms, pouring weight down into your hands so your legs can lift. Point your toes and lift your legs. Lower your legs down. Breathe into your belly. We'll curl away from the floor once more, lifting one arm and one leg, lifting your other arm and your other leg. Hold, stretch, breathe, lengthen, point your toes, reach your fingers forward, breathe, breathe, and lower down. Sit up. Cross your legs. Take your left leg on top, put your left foot on the floor, wrap your arms around your left leg and sit up. Give yourself a taller spine because of the wrap of your arms. You can lean back a little. Scoop your left hand underneath your right leg. Your right arm wraps around behind you. Turn towards the right. Face forward. Hold on to the outside edge of your right foot. This might be a little bit of a stretch. We've been stretching lots of ways. Left hand on the floor and stick your right foot forward. Your leg can be as bent as you want to. Try to focus on tall spine. Don't worry about how much your leg is straight or bent, but this integrity of your spine while your leg is stretching. Connection of your upper body to your lower body, this kind of thing. Yeah, you can bring it out to the side a little. Okay, lie down. Hands on the tops of your legs, roll through your shoulders. Let's try the other side. Foot on the floor. Interlace your fingers or hold one wrist with your fingers and lean back. Find the length of your spine. Sit bones evenly weighted. Scoop, turn, wrap. And face forward. Catch hold of the outside edge of your foot that's in front. Lean back. You might just do this. Maybe lean back and hold onto your foot, but maybe you'd like to give yourself a little stretch. Your leg does not have to be straight, but your torso has integrity. Hips, ribcage, head, all in one line. You got this. Foot back down. Cross your legs. Put your hands on the tops of your legs. Roll through your shoulders, up and back and down. We're lying on our backs next. Make sure you've got nothing on the floor around you that is going to impede your progress to the floor. You can do this in a couple different ways. Just lay yourself down, or you can give yourself a little ab challenge. Hook your thumbs and lower yourself down bit by bit. If you pause every once in a while, I'll give you a little more challenge as you lower and lower and lower and lower. You might be making a little noise as you go down. That's okay. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. This is the pigeon pose. You can flap your knee forward and back, and reach down and hold onto your leg. This purpose of this pose is to stretch your left hip. You're finding if your foot goes out to the side, it stretches your hip in a different way. You're doing foot towards your opposite shoulder. So it gives you that rotation, stretching your hip, and put your foot down. Other side. Ankle over opposite knee. You can flap your knee forward and back. You can stay like that. Or you can reach down and hold on. Encourage your leg to come a little closer. The thing that causes the rotation, more rotation or less rotation, is your foot coming further or farther, closer or further away from your opposite shoulder. Releasing your foot down. Walk your feet out, rock your knees left and right. Hands on the top of your stomach. Okay, lengthen your spine. Breath technique. When you inhale, your hands on your stomach, focusing on any movement that your hands are experiencing, that your hands are feeling from the movement of your belly. It's not a big deal if maybe you don't feel any movement. Maybe that's not a thing that you're noticing. Maybe move your hands a little bit up on your ribcage. Or maybe you just notice wherever you're feeling, whatever you're feeling while you breathe. If your hands are moving, you can encourage your belly to expand in your hands and your fingertips coming back together as you exhale. Do one more like that. Big soft inhale and soft exhale. Rearrange your body into a resting position. Classic resting position is you're flat on your mat, on your back, arms long, legs long, nose pointing up. Sometimes classic doesn't work. Doesn't work with your body, doesn't work with how you're feeling. So adjust and arrange your resting position to suit yourself. We have a few more minutes in resting position. While you are resting, use this time to observe yourself, observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, observe your energy, observe your breath. And maybe notice how fast your thoughts are moving. Let your thoughts slow down a little and do a little less. Do less observing and more resting. Do less work. Do less thinking. You can stay in resting position as long as you want to. But if you're ready, start moving around. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. You could roll through your wrists and your ankles. You can wiggle through your spine. Move your face around. And notice the senses available to you. Maybe what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're smelling, tasting. Feel the air on your skin or your clothes on your skin, how it feels to be on the surface that you're on. Connect with your present moment. And as you feel ready, maybe you're already up. Bring yourself up and sit. Bring your hands together. Connect. Left side and right side. Pull your thumbs toward your sternum, tuck your elbows into your sides, and give yourself a tall spine. Notice the effects of your practice. We'll take 3 breaths. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Each time, if you want to make any noise, then you can make a noise, but you don't have to. Nice soft inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Thanks for practicing with me, and thanks for being part of the community. You are appreciated. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please go to comebackyoga.org and check out our website and come back and practice with me again sometime soon because I would love that. We'll see you next time. Take care.